We had come to the line saying that a creation had come to be. Now he describes what kind of creation. Ashokate glimpsed a growing volume of the will to be, a text of living and a graph of force, a script of acts, a song of conscious forms, burdened with meanings, fugitive from thought's grasp, and crowded with undertones of life's rhythmic cry, could write itself in the heart of living things. In that creation, there were naturally living things, fully living things, not fugitive, not half living. In that, the will to be, the will to exist, it is gathering force. And already a text has formed, a text has formed of life. That is, it is well formulated. And a graph of force. Graph is showing the movement of force that is seen there. A script of acts, script of a play or a drama, outline of action, and a song of conscious forms. It was kind of a hymn of forms, conscious, not mechanical, and these forms had meanings. They were not just haphazard forms, but burdened with meanings. These meanings, however, were fugitive, running away from the grasp of thought. That is, it was clear that there was meaning, but what exactly the meaning was, thought could not grasp. And crowded with undertones of life's rhythmic cry. The cry of life has always a rhythm about it, a rhyme about it. And these, not loud tones, but undertones, were there in all these forms. And all these features had impressed themselves on the heart of living things. That is, they were characteristic of the living things in that world. In an outbreak of the might of secret spirit in life and matter's answer of delight, in that world where this might, the power of the secret spirit had broken out, manifested in the form of life, and simultaneously there was the answer of delight from matter, because the secret spirit has blossomed in life. Matter is happy, matter is responding with delight. In such a situation, some phase of deathless beauty could be caught. There was a deathless beauty, but exactly what couldn't be said. Some phase, some outline, some form of beauty could be caught, and that beauty that gave immortality to a moment's joy, even if it is a joy for a moment, that joy had something which lasted eternally. It was not gone the moment it was experienced. It lasted. And that was because the cause that excited the joy was the deathless beauty of creation. Some world that could incarnate highest truth leaped out from a chance tension of the soul. There, not only the face of deathless beauty, but there was even a word, a mantra, that could embody the highest truth. An ordinary word cannot do that. But only some word, a chosen word, that word leaped out from a chance tension of the soul. It does not come by meditation. That word does not come by preparation. But due to some crisis, some kind of tapasya, there is a tension of the soul. And he says, from that tension, that word leaped out. And third, the first there is the beauty, next there is the word, third, some hue of the absolute could fall on life. Some color of the absolute could fall on life. Some glory of knowledge and intuitive sight. Not whole thing, but some glory of knowledge and intuitive sight. Some passion of the rapturous heart of love. The rapturous heart of love of the Divine Being. Some passion of it, some passion not in the sense of desire, but intensity. That came out in a manifest manner in this world. Beauty, the word, the hue, the knowledge and the intuitive sight, and the passion of love. All these at one time, they were glimpsed and experienced by our traveler of the worlds. A hierophant of the bodiless secrecy, interned in an unseen spiritual sheath. Hierophant is one who interprets something that is mystic, something that is secret. He gives the meaning. Here there was a secrecy, a secret truth, which was not endowed with a body. So, some interpreter was there, but that interpreter was interned in an unseen spiritual sheath, where the body sheath, the vital sheath, the mental sheath, then he speaks of the spiritual sheath. That is, in the spiritual sheath of the form, there was that intelligence which could understand and interpret the secret of things. The will that pushes sense beyond its scope. There is a higher will which pulls up the senses, otherwise the senses are always content to graze at a very low level. But the higher will lifts them up, pushes them beyond their scope, turns them into higher senses, to feel the light and joy intangible. That is, the senses are not allowed to remain satisfied with the lowly enjoyments of material sense or the vital desires, but they are pushed up to feel the light and joy intangible. Intangible means you can't touch it, but you feel it all the same. All these things, the Hierophant, the will, have found its way into the ineffable peace, indescribable, the absolute peace. In that, the world half found its way, half captured a sealed sweetness of desire. This desire has a sweetness, and that sweetness is sealed, casketed, hidden. That desire that yearned from a bosom of mysterious bliss, it is not the ordinary human vital desire, but the great karma, the act of will of the Divine Being as the Lord of bliss. Now this sweetness of desire yearns from a bosom of mysterious bliss, half manifested, veiled reality. The reality is still veiled, but it is half manifested in this world of greater life. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind. Our human soul is really coated, covered with the mind. That is why we are called mental beings. But that can't really perceive or glimpse the reality. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind could glimpse the true sense of a world of forms. Only such a soul could glimpse the real sense of the world of forms that has come to be. Illumined by a vision in the thought. How does the soul glimpse that? Because it is illumined by a vision in the thought. Thought can only think, but vision can see. There is a seeing thought, a higher level from the rationalizing thought or the meditating thought, a thought that sees. So this soul is illumined by a vision in the thought, upbuoyed by the heart's understanding flame. It is lifted up, pushed up, sprung up by the flame of the heart. But this flame is not a blind flame. It is understanding. The heart also has an understanding of its own. It is not only the mind that can understand. The heart has a direct understanding. It does not need the intermediacy of the senses collecting the data. There is an intuition in the heart, and that grasps things as they are. That, of course, requires a certain purity, a purification. Otherwise, the heart's understanding is veiled by the turbid waves of our emotions. The real heart is behind what we call the heart center. The heart center, called the anahata in the yogic or the tantric parlance, is in the front. It is truly a center of emotions. But the center of the being, the psychic center, is behind. That is why Sri Aurobindo speaks that there are two centers in the heart region. One in the emotive center and the other the soul center. So this heart's understanding flame refers to the deeper center of the heart. Now, upbuoyed by that understanding, illumined by that vision, this soul could hold in the conscious ether of the spirit the divinity of a symbol universe. This world, the soul can see that this world is representing divinity in the form of symbols in the conscious ether of the spirit. It is the spirit that extends itself as ether, and this ether is conscious. It is not, as imagined, a mechanical flow of atmosphere. It is a conscious ether of the spirit. This world of forms is really a symbolic representation of the divine truth. Next para, he says, this realm inspires us with our vaster hopes. We are not content to live with our petty movements of heart and mind, but entertain vaster hopes because of the continuous pressure of this greater life world. This realm inspires us with our vaster hopes. Its forces have made landings on our globe. Entities, forces from the life world have made, he uses the modern expression, landings on our globe. They speak of UFOs landing on Earth, beings from other planets landing on Earth. So he says, these forces of this world have made landings on our globe. Its signs have stamped their patterns on our lives. Our lives carry a particular pattern, and those patterns have been imposed, stamped upon our lives by those forces. Each force has its own sign, and they have been stamped on our life. It lends a sovereign movement to our fate. The vitality, the intensity of this life world gives a certain autarky, self-power to our fate. Though we have, the fate is a product of our karma, still it gets a sovereignty, it gets a power as a result of the pressure from the higher vital world. It gets that power. Its errant waves motive our lives' huge surge. Errant, here it does not mean mistaking, but moving, constantly in the motion. Waves of the vital world are really the cause of the high surge of our life. The waters of life of human beings don't always flow lowly, but they also at times surge high. And that is because they are motivated by the waves which are always moving about from the higher vital world. All that we seek for is prefigured there. It is destined there, already sketched out. Because it exists there in that state, we here seek for them. All that we seek for is prefigured there, and all we have not known nor even sought, which yet must be born one day in human arts, things of which we know nothing, things for which we have not even searched, but still which have to be born one day in human beings. For what purpose? That the timeless may fulfill itself in things. The eternal may fulfill itself in things. That is why what we have not known, what we have not sought, they incarnate in the mystery of the days. They take birth, whether we have sought for them or not, whether we have known of them or not. Those elements, those things take birth on the globe, incarnate in the mystery of the days, eternal in the unclosed infinite. Those things, those truths are there eternally existing in the unbounded infinite. And then he sums up, a mounting endless possibility climbs high upon a topless ladder of dream, forever in the being's conscious trance. All this exists, all these movements go on because in the conscious trance of the Supreme Being, there is an endless possibility which forms itself like a staircase, a ladder of dream. That is, he muses and in the contemplation of the Supreme Being, a ladder forms of a possibility. There is no end. That's why he says, a topless ladder. And it is mounting, climbs high forever. There is no end to this creation, because the cause of it, which is the trance, the conscious trance of the Supreme Being, is endless. And it goes on climbing forever and forever. And something of that possibility has been translated in the life world before it has been precipitated in a diminished form in our material world. So Ashwapati sees there the beginnings the prefigurations of the patterns and the modes of life on earth. A growing volume of the will to be, a text of living in the graph of force, a script of acts, a song of conscious forms, burdened with meanings, fugitive from thought's grasp, and crowded with undertones of life's rhythmic cry, could write itself on the heart of living things. In an outbreak of the might of secret spirit, in life and matter's answer of delight, some face of deathless beauty could be caught that gave immortality to a moment's joy, some word that could incarnate highest truths, leaped out from a chance tension of the soul, some hue of the absolute could fall on life, some glory of knowledge and intuitive sight, some passion of the rapturous heart of love. a hierophant of the bodiless secrecy, interned in an unseen spiritual sheath, the world that pushes sense beyond its scope to feel the light and joy intangible, half found its way into the ineffable peace, half captured a sealed sweetness of desire that yearned from a bosom of mysterious bliss, half manifested veiled reality. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind could glimpse the true sense of a world of forms, illumined by a vision in the thought, upbuoyed by the heart's understanding flame. It could hold in a conscious ether of the spirit the divinity of a symbol universe. This realm inspires us with our vaster hopes. Its forces have made landings on our globe. Its signs have stamped their patterns on our lives. It lends a sovereign movement to our fate. Its errant waves motive our life's high surge. All that we seek for is prefigured there, and all that we have not known, nor even sought, which yet must be born one day in human hearts, that the timeless may fulfill itself in things, incarnate in the mystery of the days, eternal in the unclosed infinite. A mounting endless possibility climbs high upon a topless ladder of dream, forever in the being's conscious trance.